What up, YouTube? It's Rob Monty here, bringing you guys some wrestling news. I've just came back home from a small workout and doing a little walk around my neighborhood, and then on top of that, took my mom to the dentist. So this is why I started my video late today. Alright, so we're going to just jump right into it. So the first thing on our podcast today is Sami Zayn. For those of you guys who know, Sami was stripped of the Intercontinental title this past week, and that's because he's not going to be there to be doing the shows. He's not working. Basically, a lot of people in the backstage are not happy by it because they think this was a punishment. And this is being reported by Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer. Now, I take this article here with a grain of salt. I know Sami's already complaining about what I do not agree with this decision of stripping him of the Intercontinental title, right? But you know, when it comes from Meltzer, I think Meltzer's full of shit, for number one. And quite honestly, from saying this, he's going on and saying there is people working for job security despite not being comfortable doing so. And it goes before April when the Black Wednesday happened. Guys, this is from the Wrestling Observer. Take it with a grain of salt because he is not a good source. And for all those people who give him sources from in the company, they don't necessarily tell him the full story. And as far as this goes, guys, I already saw this Intercontinental Championship being stripped of Sami Zayn. Mainly because he told the world that he was not going to work during COVID-19. And quite honestly, I knew this was going to happen, guys. The Intercontinental title was going to be stripped. It was going to be removed. There was going to be a consequence for Sami staying home during COVID-19. Even though it was offered to him, there was going to be a consequence. And the main reason for this is for the Intercontinental Championship, guys. The title, for crying out loud, this is the Workhorse's title. This is a title that gets defended every single show there's out there, at least. And everyone who is somebody who's not competing for the World Championship or the Universal Championship should be going after this belt because this is the most likely title, the most high title that you can probably get before becoming World Champion and Universal Champion. And if the guy who's the champion is not there and is not going to be there until further notice, I mean, it makes more sense to strip him of the belt. As far as people are going to come up with different reasons, such as Brock Lesnar, why the hell does he get to stay champion and he's out for extended numbers of days? Well, for one, with Brock, it's basically already been planned out of how long this was going. For a lot of people who don't realize, when Brock doesn't show up on the show, it's because that's what his contract date sets. He's fulfilling his obligations. So the 30, 40-day rule, it doesn't apply to him. And on top of that, WWE has plans for him. So when they put the title on him, their plan is to, okay, when next time Brock's on, he's defending the belt. That's how they look at it. And then there's the people who are looking at Andrade, who was suspended. Honestly, I thought Andrade was going to be stripped of the United States title. I thought he was going to be forced to drop the belt to someone like an Humberto Carrillo or Angel Garza, but they decided not to. And the main reason is so that the faction that Andrade and Zelina are a part of and leading is the main reason for it, you know? Because now you introduced Garza Jr. to the world. You also introduced Austin Theory, so, you know. And then these guys were wrestling for the tag titles. I mean, for crying out loud, I look at it as this. Why need to drop the United States title? So, I feel like from that, and plus I hear he's mentoring those guys too. So from what I'm looking at that, or for everybody who thinks that's a contradiction, it's like, nah. The guy's paying dues. While he's the champion, he's actually going to work. He's actually showing up to work. Whereas Sami Zayn, which I know everybody's gonna say, well, he's just trying to look out for himself. I totally agree. That's the right thing he probably should do if he feels uncomfortable with wrestling. But do not expect them wanting to have that belt back. I couldn't believe so many people thought they would just let him be without stripping him the Intercontinental title or making him drop it somehow. Should they have done an interim tournament? I look at it as no, because they're already doing an interim tournament for the Cruiserweight title, and I believe it's because I think Jordan Devlin, yeah, he's the current Cruiserweight champion, and he's getting an interim to fight next. Main reason why they did that, I guess, is for one, it's because they knew Europe. He was not going to be able to come back and work in the States because Europe, he got locked down. I'm also hearing from some people saying Canada is the same way. I'm like, Canada is only across the border up north from Titan Tower. Sami could still drive out to work. That's a thing. And there's also so many other different Canadian wrestlers who are appearing on TV. So Sami had a choice, and he made the choice that he did. Now it's showing his consequences. So you know what? WWE made the right decision, in my opinion, because it's selfish for him to just hold on to that belt and not work. That's not what the Intercontinental title was for. That belt was a workhorse title. Anybody, even if you're a heel and you cheat to keep it, I mean, at least you're working, you know, for crying out loud. Who's ever heard of a workhorse champion that didn't work? And guys, it also puts Sami in a bad light when he tells people on their podcast that, oh man, I enjoyed having my time off while recovering my injuries. You know, it was the best feeling of my life. If I had to go like that, you know. Because Sami made that known on Chris Jericho's podcast. And which, you know, I don't know. Jericho probably got caught on to what Sami was trying to say. But I could bet you this. Jericho's probably thinking to himself, you dumbass. You dumbass. Vince is going to hear this. Somehow this is going to get back to Vince, and now you're going to be in a bad light with the company. And obviously now, even with the COVID-19, let's just think about this. What if Sami actually fought to keep the Intercontinental Championship by using the pandemic as an excuse to why he wouldn't defend the belt? Think about that, guys. Think about that. He could have done that just to basically say, I'm the Intercontinental Champion and I'm the greatest of all time, and he had never defended it. For all of you guys who complain about Lesnar, just think about this. Sami could have done the same thing just now if WWE didn't put their foot down, you know? Now, if he doesn't get back, I'll tell you this, guys. If he does not give the official belt back, I'm pretty sure they're going to use a replica or something of a different design, you know? But in this case, he should have seen this coming. He should have seen it coming, and he should have just dropped the belt before he left. That's all I'm saying. I mean, this would not be an issue if he wasn't the champion, guys. This would never be the issue, but it is. And it's sad. Along with bad news from WWE, from the freaking Dave Meltzer himself, the Wrestling Observer is also reporting that Rachel Ellering's release yesterday from WWE came about because she complained to the medical staff about how she was treated during physical therapy following a serious knee injury. And WWE was not happy about this at all. And this is what led to her release. And she was reported given two options, both which boiled down to her getting released. She was interested in the past leaving WWE, but the decision to release her now was WWE's decision. my honest opinion of this, I don't think the Wrestling Observer is going to give you guys the full story, and I believe there's more to this story. Where they're going to talk about how they're going to bring more updates for Sami Zayn's Intercontinental Championship. I'm going to say this. Let's wait for Rachel Ellering to actually shoot on this, and we'll give you guys the actual details of this, because I can understand the company being upset, but I think they'd be more upset with the medical staff if they were actually being exactly what she was complaining about. If they weren't treating her well. And you can't blame Rachel Ellering because, for one, she's an athlete, she's a talent, and she wants to make sure that she's being treated right and put in the right direction upon returning. So that's what's up with this article. Next, this one's probably going to be a big one here, and that is Devon Dudley has officially announced he has retired from professional wrestling. Devon confirmed this on the Table Talk podcast, and where he says, I've told Lindsay this before. Even though I'm a little frustrated, I was a little frustrated of not continuing to wrestle for that one more year that I wanted. I'm extremely happy now being a producer and not wrestling. I have officially announced that I've hung it up and I'm done. Except for different appearances that they may want me to do on the show. But no more wrestling, no more fighting for titles, none of that anymore. I'm done. I'm officially done. And then he also went on to talk about how happy he was with his career, which he goes on to say, I've had my 15 minutes of fame, and it was a good ride. It really was. The old-timers used to tell me, don't blink, because when you do, it's over. It goes that fast, and it did feel like it really went. It went really, really fast. But a 28-year career, always being on top and never taking a break regardless of injuries or anything like that, we did it, And I think Bubba said it best during our Hall of Fame speech. We did it our way. We went out there and conquered. We became synonymous in terms of using the name when tag team wrestling comes up. We will always be put in some of the best and arguably some people will say we were the best. But I'm just happy that when you do mention tag teams, the Dudley boy's name comes up. My honest opinion is, I'm like, well, you know what? I've seen some of the work that Devon's been doing backstage. I mean, when they do show it on the network or even through some documentaries, and you know what? Devon's doing a hell of a job as a producer, and as a professional wrestler. I mean, maybe this is the right time to retire. And, I mean, when I look at it, I felt like both guys. Man, God, the phone's going off. Anyway, as far as Devon goes, guys, I want to say thank you to Devon Dudley because he's done a lot for us for us as fans, as watching it for tag team wrestling. In fact, if it wasn't for Devon, we might never have gotten the Dudley Boys, because when Devon got out there and slapped some sense into Bubba, or Bully Ray, as you guys like to call him, back in ECW, we probably wouldn't have gotten the Dudley Boys. And in my opinion, they're the best tag team that has been going on in there, and they're probably one of the most unique tag teams in all of professional wrestling. Yeah. So, you know what? Thank you, Devon Dudley. As for Bully, I also thank him for his career, but I know he's still going. He's got so many things going on, and he's still wrestling. So this is probably one of the bittersweet days of professional wrestling, because one half of one of the world's greatest tag teams has in fact retired, but at the same time he's still giving to the business and helping younger talent. I mean, that's something to be admired, and I think Devon, you deserve more credit than what you've actually been given. So that's how I feel. All right, next. Details on The Undertaker's new contract with WWE, and it's a lifetime deal. According to this report, Undertaker's most contract is keeping him with the company for the long haul. And the dead man has signed a new contract with WWE back in April of 2019. That was basically, in essence, of a lifetime contract with the company. The new deal was signed after Taker's previous contract expired, and he started taking outside bookings for appearances. That led to the deal to appear at StarCast, which upset Vince McMahon. The new deal offered and accepted by Taker was for 15 years. While it's not an official lifetime contract, it means Undertaker will be 69 when his contract expires, so functionally it might as well be. See, and this is what I mean by David Meltzer being a complete ass and the Wrestling Observer being a complete ass. You know, because they're trying to bury WWE for saying, oh, they basically put him on life in prison, basically. That's basically what it says down there in the bottom, guys. It says, while this is not an official lifetime contract, it means Undertaker will be 69 when his contract expires, so functionally, it might as well be. You know what? Guys, fuck Dave Meltzer, because that's his premises about a lot of things. So he's going to give us an update on Sami Zayn because everybody's pissed off that he's been stripped of the Intercontinental title. You know what he's doing? He's just blowing smoke up your guy's ass just so he can get a fucking Observer letter out. To me, that's not fair because he's not a primary source. He's getting sources from third sources, guys. So he's nothing more than a glorified third source, and reality is this: he's an asshole. And saying that Undertaker's contract is a life sentence or a life deal, I look at it as this. You know, Vince McMahon knows the value of Taker, and Vince would rather keep Taker's contract and want Undertaker for WWE for years to come. And those guys are two good friends, so I can understand why Vince wants Taker to be with the company. Even if it's to help younger talent grow backstage. I mean, Taker is probably one of Vince's most loyal soldiers. So Vince letting Taker's contract expire and not doing a damn thing is not Vince McMahon. Vince was going to go and try and get Taker on a new deal, even if it meant doing a producer role. You know, Vince was going to get Undertaker no matter what. And that should have been expected by most people. I don't know why everybody's like going off the damn handles about this. And Meltzer should be ashamed of himself for putting it in that kind of context. I mean, he should. The Wrestling Observer should be ashamed. That's why I don't trust the Observer guys a whole lot. I take their shit with a grain of salt. Alright, as far as AEW news goes, they are going to start having a new shoe line coming soon, featuring top stars such as Orange Cassidy, Matt Hardy, Moxley, The Inner Circle, Darby Allin, Jurassic Express, Le Champion. Look at those shoes, guys. I mean, for sneakers, I think those are pretty freaking tight, freaking cool. Which one do I personally like? I like Moxley's. I mean, Moxley's has the right type of shading for it, and quite honestly, look at the coloring on Moxley's shoe, guys. It's freaking awesome. I think the most classy one here is going to be Jericho's, and that's really a classy looking shoe. I think the kid one would be the Jurassic Express, and I think your classic sneaker will be Orange Cassidy's. Do I like Darby Allin's design? I kind of do. It's nice. It's something I would probably wear, you know. Awesome. Speaking of which, let's just take a look at a bigger, because we got to see Orange Cassidy's, Moxley's, Jurassic Express, and Jericho's. So let's load up that Twitter while we're waiting. Also, since this is where they're saying is that they are planning to announce this footwear on Shop AEW. So if you guys want to get a shoe from AEW with the superstars on it, it will be on the AEW shop. However, the shoes will all cost $99.99 a pair. So these are $100 shoes, guys. $100 sneakers. If you guys are willing to pay for that much, I know there's a lot of people who would. My choice would be Mox because that shoe looks fucking cool. I'm sorry to tell you guys that. If I'm being modest, you know what? All right, did we? Yeah, all right. I guess we're not gonna see the Inner Circles one, but we'll check out Matt Hardy's before we go on to the next topic. Unless, is there more to this thread? We'll see. All right. So, in fact, guys, how about that big question of the day? Which AEW shoe would you get from the AEW shop? You guys know my answer. I picked Mox. And this is going to take a while to load. Damn. Damn. All right, well, we'll get back to that. We'll move on to Matt, Zack Ryder Cardona, and Brian Kurt Hawkins Myers are now, in fact, going to be in a new video game for the Nintendo Switch. For those of you guys who are a fan of Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, they are going to be on the new Nintendo Switch, PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One arcade wrestling game known as Retromania. And it has been announced by Retromania Wrestling. And look at those sprites, guys. I mean, those are really good details. And when I take a look at it, it's pretty cool what they got. As far as Zack Ryder's, I think he's got his Matt Cardona logo on him. And as far as Kurt Hawkins, it's no longer an H. It looks like an M on his gear. So it's going to be a cool game in retrospect. Brian Myers that says, let's go! Let's do this. For those of you guys who are looking for a game for Nintendo Switch, I recommend... see, there you go, the logo. It's right in my face, duh. But anyway, what I'm going to say to you guys is this. I mean, if you're looking for a wrestling game that's coming out soon, since 2K is taking a break this year so they can make a better game, come on, check out Retromania. It'll be the first wrestling game on the Switch since 2K18. So, check it out, guys. I mean, and I believe there's the Road Warriors on that game, Tommy Dreamer, Mikey Whipwreck, a couple other guys are all in Retromania Wrestling. I believe Stevie Richards is also in it too, so you guys definitely check it out. I'm looking to play this game when it comes out. But I want to see who else is going to be added to the roster because I feel like their roster is going to be a lot bigger than what they got already. All right, next. Well, let's go back to the shoe. All right, guys. So there's the Matt Hardy shoe for AEW's shoes. The shoe line. Oh, man. I like Moxley's, but Matt's looks pretty cool too, especially with the delete. I wonder if they're the same pair. Alright, there's Orange Cassidy's. Moxley's. Guys, tell me that's not cool. That actually looks freaking cool. And who's calling? Oh, okay. Darby Allin's. If you're like a punk rocker, I think that one's pretty cool. So, check them out when they come out. Especially from EWN right now. AEW news here. Sammy Guevara reveals what he has learned from Chris Jericho. And let's just jump into it. He says, it's been amazing. Chris is super awesome. The Bubbly Bunch was all his idea. Jericho taught me a lot just by observing him. I remember we were on commentary together a few weeks ago, and he's putting Jon Moxley over, telling how great he is. And he told me about this before, but now I'm seeing it in live action. He's putting over his opponent, not doing the typical "that guy sucks, I'm going to beat him" thing. No, he's actually saying his opponent is very good, but he's so great he'll beat him anyway. Wow, that's actually pretty cool. You know what? I'm gonna say this. I think there's something with Sammy Guevara, guys. I believe he'll be a big star. Whether he's part of AEW, WWE, AAA, it doesn't matter. I think he's gonna be a huge star. And I think with Jericho taking him under his wing, that's gonna be a blessing for Sammy, a lot. And then he also says, they asked him on which former WWE superstar he'd signed to AEW. He goes on, I'd want to pick up Kurt Angle. If he can still wrestle every now and then, we don't need him to wrestle every week. Just select dates to keep his prestige. He could have some awesome matches, not only with myself, but with a lot of other guys. I feel like he's a guy that can teach us a lot. Zack Ryder, it would be dope to have him. He's super creative, and he was one of the first people on the YouTube with the true Long Island story. He blew up and made something of that before anybody that I know of. What a genius to capitalize on this tool that we all have. So, you know what, guys, as far as my personal opinion of Sammy Guevara, like I told you guys, I feel like he's going to be a main event player one day. And the fact that he's learning from guys like Jericho and wants to learn from a guy like Angle, we're probably going to see Sammy Guevara for a long time. And quite honestly, he might be a future main event. And he's very respectful to all the guys around him. I've heard nothing but good news about Sammy in general. So, I'm looking to follow his career as we go. And after last week, not last week, was it last week when where he got run over by a golf cart? I mean, the fact that him and Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black all did death spots this past month is just awesome. I mean, wow. Sammy Guevara gets run over. Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black get thrown off a fucking roof. I mean, you guys gotta give those guys, all three guys, credit and give them a can. I mean, that's just awesome and entertaining, and it's just awesome to see them do stuff like that. Alright, next, Shelly Martinez. For those of you who don't know who Shelly Martinez is, she's a former, she's done some nude modeling before. And she's also known as the former ECW brand's fellow vampire mistress, known as Ariel. She was along with Kevin Thorne. She came out with an announcement today that she is going to be starting up her own podcast. And she says, "The bitch is back," said Martinez. "My show will feature positive vibes, love, and light for my listeners. I'm in the business of helping people, not hurting them." So, for those of you guys who want to check out her new podcast, it will be on VOC Nation. And basically what these guys already got, they have a couple wrestling personalities, such as Maestro, who is a really great person to meet. Very fun to watch his matches. You also have Ken Renzick. For those of you who don't know where Maestro came from, he's from WCW. Check out the good WCW days in 2000. Maestro was actually pretty good back then, to be honest. I mean, for all the crap that's going on in WCW had some crap shit in 2001 and 2000. But Maestro, he pulled off some good shit in there. WWE and AWA's Ken Renzick will be also on one of these podcasts as well. Wes Briscoe from Impact is also there. So, you know, they got a lot of things going on with wrestling on Volk Nation, and Shelly Martinez is their latest acquisition. So if you guys want to check out her new podcast, go on to Volk Nation shows. You'll probably see her there. Oh, man. I'm kind of interested. I'm probably going to check that out myself. I mean, Shelly is pretty cool, you know. Especially with a lot of her tattoo designs. Training at the Performance Center could start up again soon. On Friday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis announced the state is moving forward with opening gyms this Monday. Gyms will still be required to follow the social distancing guidelines. This will pave the way for training at the WWE Performance Center to resume. It should be noted that WWE did not allow talent to use weights or other gym facilities while taping TV at the Performance Center. The gym being turned into a studio started back in late March due to the coronavirus. Florida will now allow restaurants and retail stores to operate at 50% capacity. All right. So for 50% capacity, that's half capacity of the facilities that are being reopened. All right, guys. For you guys who are in Florida, who are planning to go hit the gyms or go to the stores or even restaurants, I ask you guys, stay safe, follow the social distancing guidelines, wear a mask, keep your gloves on, be safe, guys. Don't be an idiot, but be safe out there. That's all I ask. Don't be an idiot. Just don't be an idiot. Because there's too many idiots in the world, and right now, a lot of them that are acting like idiots during this coronavirus right now and just going and get themselves infected, it's not looking good for them. And for the guys who got the coronavirus just by bad luck in general, I hope you guys heal up. For all those people out there, don't be a silly nanny. Fucking protect yourself as you go back out in public. That's all I'm saying. Just stay safe and we'll be good. As far as the Performance Center goes, hey, we might get to see some audience at the Performance Center while they do shows. Now, Cody Rhodes is now going to discuss on if he's taking too many roles in AEW. And this is what he had to say. To be fair, I don't know. I don't know if I'm too scattered until it hits me in the face, but it's a concern of mine because I'll give an example. Brandy and I don't have any children. But when AEW became a thing, it was like we inherited 30 to 40 children, if that makes sense. The locker room, a lot of them look to us for their directives. Some of them look to us for advice and mentorship. It's wonderful, but now that is what my day is spent doing, communicating with everyone, even anyone who is a long-standing veteran in our industry. That's all I do. I'm staring down, straining my neck, looking down at my phone, and talking to members of the locker room. That is where I get word. That's why I use the word scattered, because I really want to make sure that going into every match, especially a big match, I've done the work. That's the slogan. I train for this same way that I would train for anything. On a high level, pro sports, situation, I won't know until I know. You know what? And that's the responsibility that he had attained when he became EVP. In my opinion, this was a good answer, fair answer, and quite honestly, I hope Cody's not spreading himself too thin. I mean, he's helping a lot of people as it is, so he's a busy guy, and quite honestly, I hope he takes some time to just, relax and rest because this shit's going to be really, really draining on him. So I hope he knows when to do so. That's just all I'm saying. But he's doing great. They're doing great as far as shows are going and matches are going. I just wish there was less dives, in my opinion, in general. That goes for our WWE too. I wish there was less dives. Now, Corey Graves reveals who he thinks could have been a breakout star at Money in the Bank with a crowd. And this is what he had to say. I was actually driving home last night after the pay-per-view. In particular, what stood out to me was Dana Brooke for basically coming with the comic relief of the match. But to me, that sort of performance that we had the luxury of now of a live crowd. I think that was a sort of performance that, at least in short term, if she were to walk out on Friday night in front of the live crowd, I think we'd have a massive star in our hands for the night. I don't know if it would have been a long-term sustained connection with the audience, but I feel like that's one of the things that missing is organic ability to get over. She stood out to me, and I feel like if we had a crowd at least in the short term, we would have had a big star. I could totally agree with that because when I look at Dana Brooke's position in the match, especially when she grabs the fake briefcase in the conference room, I mean, you can't feel happy that she has gotten the Money in the Bank briefcase, only to find out, though, aww. I mean, you just have the feels for her in that. And you see everybody working hard in this match, and she was working so hard, too hard. She thinks she finally has it, but it's like, damn it. That's what I said. She did have a little bit of personality, though she didn't have the right facials for it, in my opinion. But she could have... I agree with that. She could have had at least been a breakout star after that match and have some kind of thing going on, you know? Alright, next. Vince McMahon praises WWE producers for the Last Ride special, and this is what he had to say. This is on Twitter, too. Undertaker, The Last Ride, has captured the incredible story of one of WWE's most iconic superstars. Impressive work by the network team, especially Dan Pooch, Matthew Brain, Steve Kono, Dixie Manis. You brought new life to the dead man. Quite honestly, guys, I'm liking the Last Ride series so far, and quite honestly, I can't wait for the next episode. And I think they really brought out the more human side of Undertaker. I mean, we talk about how Dark Side of the Ring is bringing out the more human side of the wrestler themselves, but I think we're seeing the more real-life person of Mark Calloway with the Last Ride series, so I think they did a great job. And quite honestly, Vince McMahon's happy with it. And you know what? This is going to be something great. This is one of the reasons why Vince wanted to keep Taker, too, guys. It's because Taker's story in the wrestling business is just above... I mean, when we talk about Undertaker's career in general, I can understand why Vince would want to keep Taker. And, you know, him and Taker are still going to keep making money together for the next 15 years because, quite honestly, Taker alone, just his story alone, and you talk about his story, especially the backstage real-life story of The Undertaker, I believe that's something that's more entertaining and wanting to know more because the man himself, the legend, and the myth have made us all, as fans, want to know Taker more and enjoy what Taker has given us over the years. So I can't wait to see this, guys. I can't wait to see what happens in the next 15 years with Taker. Obviously, it's going to be a lighter wrestling schedule, you know, but I want to see what they got going for Taker, you know, after this, because a lot of the stuff that Undertaker has and can talk about his career is just interesting in general. Everything about Taker is interesting. That's my honest opinion. Backstage update on the Young Bucks at Double or Nothing. They will be teaming with Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega in Stadium Stampede match against the Inner Circle. According to the Wrestling Observer, the three men will be returning on Dynamite's broadcast next week. That is the go-home show for Double or Nothing. In my honest opinion, this is probably those stuff that you could probably report as something good. As far as Meltzer goes, or the Wrestling Observer goes, I think they know more about the other companies in WWE, and they just have a fucking vendetta against WWE. I guess it's because Meltzer was treated like shit when he used to work for Vince, I guess. But, you know, as far as his newsletter, I always take everything with a grain of salt. But I know with this whole thing with the Young Bucks and the Hangman, it's probably getting out to him where he's no longer just a third source for them, but he's more like a secondary. So, that's going to be cool when AEW comes back. Oh, and then for Double or Nothing, that's going to be awesome. You knew this was going to happen. You knew this was going to happen because they're promoting that Stadium Stampede match. Alright, now Tyson Fury continues to call out Drew McIntyre, and this is what has been reported by the BT Sport. And he goes on to say, shout out to Drew McIntyre. He's been calling me out. He doesn't want to catch a left hook. He's 6'6", but he's chiseled. I want to fight him, but he's not a good body. WWE champion is on Tyson Fury's radar. My honest opinion is, oh my god, this could be a good match, but I want to see Tyson Fury get a claymore to the face, to be honest. I would. I don't like Tyson Fury that much. Alright, AEW news. Cody praises enhancement talent. Top Dynamite moments. So Cody goes and says this. As the world opens back up, I want to put over some of the folks who stepped up big for AEW. Hoping to see them booked all across the globe special lot. So he talks about Serpentico, Alan Angels, Sean Dean, Big Shotty, Lee, Danny Jordan, Real Skylar Moore, Musa Fearless, and Kenzie Page. And you want to know what, guys? That's good. And you never know, he might just sign these enhancement talent too. So you guys are on the radar for a lot of people right now. Is this a South Park? A South Park image. Oh my god, is this a GIF or something else? And it's an animation. Let's take a look.
What's going on, Panda fam? Right now we are over here at Dynamite. Gonna be in the main event today and kill it as we always do. Blah, blah, blah. Ah! Oh, God!
Is that Marco Studd? Hey, no. See you Monday.
Oh my god, they killed Sami!
Oh, man. Sammy Guevara, guys, I say he's got some shit going on. That is hilarious. Check out this animation if you guys didn't hear it well. It's on Sammy Guevara's Twitter. It's pretty funny. Pretty funny. Alright, and then Bleacher Report. I can't report this because it's on the Bleacher Report, but they are Oh no, alright. Alright, AEW has announced their top moments in 5/13/20 from Dynamite this week, so check that out, guys, if you are into that. Other than that, guys, I think that will be all for today's Wrestling News episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys liked. I hope you guys subscribe. Tell me what your guys' thoughts are. Do some of you guys like Dave Meltzer, or do you think Dave Meltzer's full of shit half the time? Tell me what's your guys' favorite shoe out of that AEW shoe line. And what do you guys think? Should Sami Zayn be bitching his head off for something he knew was going to happen with the Intercontinental title? Tell me what you guys think. And think objectively here. Don't just think of Sami Zayn is your guy because he's the wrestler and the employee. Think about it as a professional thing. And quite honestly, he's wrong professionally in my opinion. But what do you guys think? Alright guys, y'all take care. You have a good day. God bless. Thank you for watching. Love y'all.